The power of the shadow, a journey to wholeness. There is a silent force within you that shapes your thoughts, choices, and reactions, often without your awareness. This force is not evil, but it carries everything you have denied in yourself. Desires you're ashamed of, impulses you suppress, traits you judge in others but refuse to admit exist in you. Carl Jung called it the shadow. And no, it does not go away simply because you ignore it. On the contrary, the more you reject it, the more power it gains. The shadow operates behind the scenes of your psyche. It influences how you see others, how you react emotionally, and how you relate to the world. When you find yourself harshly criticizing someone else's behavior, irritated by a trait you can't stand in others, you are often not reacting to them, but to a hidden part of yourself being reflected back at you. Every harsh judgment you project outward might be a scream from your shadow, begging to be seen. The ego wants to maintain a polished image of who you are, so it pushes anything that doesn't fit: anger, envy, fear, insecurity into the unconscious. But whatever you repress doesn't disappear. It waits, and if you don't bring it into consciousness, it manifests in your life through projection, self-sabotage, compulsions, anxiety, or even fate, as Jung warned. What you do not make conscious appears in your life as destiny. We all wear masks to survive. Since childhood, we've been conditioned to behave a certain way. Smile when we want to cry, be polite when we're angry, hide our desire, ambition, or grief. Over time, these authentic parts of us get exiled into the basement of the mind. This exile becomes the shadow, a collection of everything we thought we had to reject in order to be accepted. But the shadow isn't just about darkness. It also hides your suppressed creativity, your longing for intimacy, your boldness, your spontaneity. It contains not only your destructive tendencies, but your forgotten strengths. To ignore it is to live a half-life. To embrace it is to become whole. When you suppress your shadow, its energy doesn't vanish. It gets distorted. Repressed anger turns into chronic resentment. Denied envy becomes bitterness. Hidden ambition turns into stagnation and self-pity. You lose touch with who you truly are, and over time, you become the very thing you judge in others. This is how moralistic personas hide secret shame, how over-sacrificing helpers quietly breed resentment, and how unresolved wounds become silent saboteurs in relationships. Projection is the mind's defense. When you cannot accept something in yourself, you unconsciously project it onto others. You dislike someone's arrogance, but maybe it's your own suppressed confidence asking to be acknowledged. You judge someone's emotional expressiveness, perhaps because you were taught vulnerability is weakness. The other becomes your mirror, and the conflict isn't really with them. It's with what you've buried inside. The path to healing begins with radical responsibility. Not blame, not shame, responsibility. It means asking, what exactly about this person or situation is bothering me? And what does that reveal about me? This inquiry is not easy. It takes you out of the comfortable role of the victim and requires you to meet yourself with brutal honesty. But this discomfort is sacred. It's not punishment. It's an invitation. If you ignore that invitation, the consequences are quiet but corrosive. The shadow takes control of your relationships, your work, your goals. You'll keep fighting imaginary enemies, pointing fingers outward, while the real conflict remains unresolved within. You'll slowly become the person you swore never to be. But there is a way out. Shadow integration is the process of reclaiming what you once rejected, of making peace with the disowned parts of yourself. It begins with recognition, admitting that within you exist not just light, but also darkness. There is envy, fear, pride, shame, lust, and rage, just as there is compassion, courage, passion, and potential. Denying any of these elements keeps you fragmented. Recognizing them is the first act of liberation. Next comes observation. Notice when you overreact, when you feel shame or discomfort for no clear reason. These moments are not accidents. They are the voice of your shadow trying to break through the surface. Don't judge it, just witness it. Then comes acceptance. This doesn't mean justifying harmful behavior. It means no longer pretending to be someone you're not. Acceptance is the bridge between awareness and transformation. You stop amputating parts of your soul to fit into an image of perfection, and you start allowing yourself to be whole. But this journey is not always one you should walk alone. Working with a trained therapist, especially one rooted in Jungian or depth psychology, can help you navigate these inner landscapes. Therapy, dream work, shadow journaling, and honest self-reflection are tools that can illuminate what's been hidden and help you bring it into the light. Real transformation happens when shame becomes insight, when rage becomes healthy boundaries, when envy becomes a roadmap to your true desires. The shadow doesn't have to destroy you. It can become your greatest teacher. It can awaken strengths you forgot you had. And as you integrate it, you change. Not just internally, but externally. You stop seeing enemies everywhere. You see human beings, just like you, flawed, raw, struggling, trying. Your relationships improve because you stop demanding others fulfill needs you've neglected within yourself. You become more grounded, less reactive, more compassionate, not because you're pretending, but because your heart is no longer at war with itself. People will feel the difference. Some will be drawn to your presence. Others might fall away, no longer able to engage in the unconscious games of blame and projection. That, too, is part of the purification process. True strength is not about suppressing your darkness. It's about seeing it clearly, understanding it, and choosing to respond from awareness instead of reactivity. Jung said it best. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Integration is not a destination. It's a continual practice. The shadow will evolve, new challenges will arise, and life will keep inviting you to meet yourself at deeper levels. But now you will be prepared, not perfect but present, not immune to pain but rooted in truth. You were not meant to live in war with yourself. You were meant to become whole.